Okay, welcome everybody. Just come to week 7, so just go through the safety things initially. Just make sure you're working to about a level 4 so you can feel that your breathing rate's increasing, heart rate's increasing, temperature is increasing. You should still be able to speak in full sentences. If you start to feel unwell or if you feel any pain, then do stop. If you're watching this on record and you haven't already completed a PARQ, please get in touch and we can arrange for that to happen. Make sure you've got water, make sure you've got a chair, and if you have weights or a resistance band, you can use those as well. Okay, so we'll start with our mobilisation and warm-up. So feet together, arms down by your sides, toes out to 45 degrees, heels out to join them. So try and stand up as tall as you can. Almost imagine you've got a piece of string pulling you up, lengthening you to the ceiling. So you've got a nice tall posture, long neck. Pull the tummy in and then take a breath in, and as you breathe out, turn your head to the right. Breathe back in, come back to the middle, and breathe out, turn to the left. Just going to turn my heater on. Sorry, I should have done that before. Again, breathe out, turn to the right. Breathe back into the middle and out to the left. Back to the middle and just let your chin drop onto your chest so you feel stretched down the back of the neck. Breathe in, look straight ahead, and then as you breathe out, let the head tip back a little bit so you're just looking up to the ceiling. And back to the centre. Roll the shoulders forwards. So we're looking to make those circles as big as you're comfortable to make them. Just make sure you keep breathing and change direction. And then try and slide your shoulder blades down your back, so again you've got a long neck. And then bring the arms forwards, palm to palm. Breath in, and as you breathe out, take them out on the diagonal, back to the middle, and out. So you're breathing out each time you take the arms away. Breathe in as you come back in. Don't worry too much if you're doing it the opposite way, as long as you are breathing as you're doing it, that's the main thing. One more in each direction. And then flatten the palms, so the palms are to the floor. Pull the elbows back. Take them forward, turn back to the middle, and elbows out wide. To the floor, elbows back, palm to palm, arms out wide. To the floor, elbows back, palm to palm, elbows wide. This time we're going to keep the elbows back, so flatten the hands, bring the elbows back, and then we're just going to work on the shoulders. So try and point the hands up towards the ceiling. Back to the middle and go towards the floor. Keep your tummy pulled in because it could be that your back tries to arch if your shoulders aren't very flexible. So just protect the back by pulling the tummy in and don't work through pain. Okay, and then bring the arms down to your sides, just give them a little bit of a shake. So with the arms down by the sides, again take a breath in and breathe out, slide down to the right. Try to keep your weight equal on both feet, so you should feel there's an equal amount of pressure going through each foot. One more each side. And then we're just going to turn side to side. Just let the arms swing, keep the knees slightly bent. It's not a big range of movement, just loosening up. So we're coming on to mobilisation in that lower body. I'm going to support myself on this one, so you might either want to put one hand on the chair or on the wall. And we're doing flamingo, so one arm forward, one leg forward and back. Side on, looks like that. Last one on this side. And then changing sides. Last one. And back down. Okay, so we're going to go round the clock this time, or next one. So we're going to point forwards, and then keeping that leg straight, toes pointed, point out to the side. Point behind, and then you're going to come into a little dip. So it's like you're going to 12 o'clock. Which way are you seeing it? 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then a little dip on 7 o'clock. 2 more on this side. And then we're changing sides. Last one on this side. And back. Okay, so we're just going to come into a few heel raises, but we're going to combine them with a toe stretch. So we're keeping the feet in parallel, coming up onto the balls of the feet, pause at the top, come back down, lift the toes up, try and stretch them out as much as you're able to in your shoes. And then back onto the balls of the feet, down, and stretch out the toes. When you come up, try and have the weight going through the big toe, the second toe, so your ankles are staying in line. Do 2 more. Perfect. Okay, so we're coming on to our warm-up section. So we'll just start gentle marching to start with. You can just pick it up as and when you start to feel warmer and ready to. So we'll use the marching between each of the warm-up exercises, either as a bit of recovery or to then pick it up. So first one, we're going into swing and sway. One more each way, and back to marching. Next one we'll be doing is spotty dog. So you've got one arm coming forward, one leg coming back. So you're going like that. So at the top, try and have a straight line from those fingers on the raised hand to the heel at the back. Good work. Last one each way. And back to marching. If you're doing okay, you can start to increase the range of movement or the speed on that march. And then we're going to come into heel kicks, so stretching out the thighs. So stepping side to side, bringing the heel up towards the bottom. And back to marching. And then heel digs, so we're stretching out the calves. So it's taking 1 foot forward, heel down, toes up, and then just press the arms forwards as well. So imagine you're trying to push something away from you. And back to marching. And then we're coming into our half jacks, so arm and leg out to the side. You can either just take it to shoulder height, or you can go a little bit higher if you want the heart rate to come up a little bit higher. And back to our last march. Okay, and just bring it down there. So we're going to come on to our main circuit. So if you need a drink, just grab a quick drink. Forgot to fill mine up, never mind. Okay, so we have got at least one new exercise in this round, but I'll show you before we get going. 60 seconds, work for as much of that 60 seconds as you're able to, rest for as much of it as you need to. There's at least one exercise where I'll suggest doing it in blocks of 10 because it can be quite hard to maintain for the full 60. So we're starting with marching, with fast feet, 2 lots of 5 seconds, and off we go. Fifteen seconds gone. Fast feet if you want to. And back to marching. Fifteen seconds to go. And fast feet if you want to, last 5 seconds. resting there. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to do is upper body and core, and it's a wood chop. If you have a weight, you can hold the weight. If you don't, you can do it with the band, and I will show you, but I would suggest first time doing it without the band. I'm going to start down with the weight low on the right hand side, and then you're just going to bring it forward and across the body to the opposite ear. If you have osteoporosis or issues with your spine, make sure that your hips turn with your shoulders. Otherwise, you can keep the hips facing forwards, tummy pulled in, okay? Off we go. If you have the band, you can stand with both feet and pull across that way. That's good. If any of you play golf, this one's actually quite good for getting golf rotation power. Change direction, so do it the other way. Or tennis actually, it's quite good for a tennis shot. And resting there. So our first lower body exercise is sit to stand. If anybody prefers a squat, you can do that instead. You're doing the sit to stand, focus on getting down very, very slowly, so you're really controlling it down. 60 seconds, starting from now. So we're looking for really good control. When you stand up, you can just push your hips forwards a little bit, just to stretch out the hip flexors. Stop them getting too tight. Good. Got some bodies, the torso's staying up nice and tall as well, so well done. We've done half, 30 seconds. Fifteen to go. And stopping there. So our next cardio exercise is skiing. So we're looking for good power coming through those arms, knees bending just as much as you're comfortable with. In 3, 2, 1, off we go. We've got 15 seconds to go. Some great power there, well done. And resting there. Okay, so our second upper body exercise is a diamond press up against the wall. So your hands are in that position at chest height. So you're creating that diamond shape. And then as you press, the elbows are coming out wide and you're trying to get as close to the wall with this one as you can. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Do them in blocks of 8 if you need to. 15 seconds gone. Halfway. And 15 to go. And rest in there. Okay, so for our second lower body exercise, we're coming back to round the clock. But we're just going to do the first three, we're not doing the one behind. So we would do 12 o'clock. Probably better to do it with the chair side on. So you go 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. And just vary the amount that you bend the knees by how comfortable it feels. So it could be that you just come off centre, but you're still then using the legs to push back. Okay, off we go. We'll do 30 seconds each way. Again, try and keep the body up as tall as you can. Remember that string I spoke about at the beginning? That's still pulling you up to the ceiling. And change sides. $15 to go. I seem to have very squeaky shoes on today. And stop there. Okay, so spotty dog is our cardio exercise. In 3, 2, 1, off we go. Halfway through. Five seconds to go. And resting there. Okay, so we're coming on to triceps. Show you with the weight first. We're doing a tricep push back. So if you have weights, just starting with your arms slightly behind the body and pushing back. It's like those hands are bouncing on springs. If you're on a band, depends on the length of the band. Standing, arms out behind. Again, pushing. But it works equally well if you don't use anything, okay? So you're just pushing back, bouncing those arms. Might be quite tiring for 60 seconds, so just rest when you need to. Keep breathing. $15 seconds done. So make sure you keep the shoulders relaxed. Small pushes. And keep the arms straight so you can feel it working just in that back of the upper arm. Over halfway, you're doing really well. 15 seconds to go. Three, two, one, and stopping there. Okay, so we're working on the glutes, the buttocks, and the hamstring for this one. I'm going to do a kick back deadlift, which sounds a lot fancier than it actually is. You've got 1 foot back, heel off the floor, and that's just for balance. Then either with your hands on your hips, or holding the weights if you want to work harder. First one, maybe do hands on hips. You're hinging from the hip to the point you should start to feel that the glutes and the hamstrings are engaged. So you bring the chest towards the floor and then standing up. Okay? Slight bend in the supporting leg. We'll do 30 seconds on each leg. So just getting that engagement and then standing back up. You can take that forward movement quite slowly, but then stand up normally. And change legs. So back heel off the floor, front leg almost straight, not quite, slight bend. Hinging from the hip, chest coming towards the floor till you can feel that the buttocks and the back of the thigh are engaged. And stopping there. So we're coming into a half jack now. So that's arm and leg out to the side. In 3, 2, 1, off we go. If you wanted to make it harder, you could take both arms out, but only one leg, so it's still low impact. And you're halfway through. Ten seconds to go. And relax. Okay, so if you want to grab a drink while I just explain the next one, I'm going to do a pull back. So that's working the muscles in the back that are about here, just inside the shoulder blades. If you have a band, this is a really good one to use with the band. So you would hold your band shoulder width apart, or a little bit wider if that proves too tricky. You're pulling back wide across the chest, trying to squeeze the elbows together. You can do it with no resistance band at all. Again, you would pull back, but just creating resistance, concentrating on the squeeze of the shoulder blades. If you have light weights, it won't contribute to the squeeze, but it'll work your shoulders as well. So it's up to you if you want to use them. And off we go. Okay, so really this one, we're working the back, so we're looking to squeeze those shoulder blades. And that's the muscle that we're looking to use. Make sure the shoulders themselves stay low and relaxed. So this is one where it will be hard to keep going for 60 seconds. So just rest when you need to. That's 30. So I'm just going to have a rest there, loosen the shoulders up. Okay, so we've got 20 seconds left. If you feel up to it, let's have another go. Get that squeezing. 5 seconds to go. Yeah, good work. Give the arms a bit of a shake. So we're going to do pendulum as our lower body. So we're working into the side of the hips. Whereas we normally change, we're going to stay on one side. And if you are able to, try and keep 1 foot off the floor. So don't ground it as you come back, tall as possible. Fingertip support and off you go. So this one, toes are pulled up and you're trying to stand up as tall as possible. We're halfway through on this leg. And change legs. Stop the clock while we change over. And off we go. Last 10 seconds. And stop there. Okay, so next cardio is a tap back with a knee raise. It's a little bit of a coordination challenge, so it will get the brain working as well. Stand back so you can see my feet. It's a tap back and then knee raise. So tap in front, tap. If you're a bit unsteady, you can always do it as a step through. But okay, if you can, knee raise. 30 seconds each side. If you want to make it harder, you go back further. Five more seconds on this side. And changing legs. Last few, up, and stop there. Okay, so the next one, depending on what equipment you're using, we're either working the back again or working the shoulders. If you have weights and choose to use the weights, you can do a shoulder press. So I'll get on my knees so you can see overhead. So starting from here, we're pushing up. That's hard to do for 60 seconds, so I would suggest doing them in blocks of 8. If you have a band and want to work the back, pull down. This time you're trying to keep the shoulder blades wide so you're not squeezing them together. Again, hard to do for 60 seconds, so blocks of 8. And off we go. If you don't have anything, I would do it as the pressing movement because you will still be working the shoulders. And this one above all, remember to keep breathing. Okay, I've done 9, so I'm going to rest there. I'm going to see if I can get another set of 8 or 9 in. Oh, perfect. 8, and that's our time. Okay. So our next lower body exercise, which does actually incorporate upper body and cardio, is swing and sway. So because we're looking at it as a lower body exercise, if you can and it's not painful, think about getting that increased range of movement through the legs. But obviously if it's painful, just adapt it to what is comfortable. Off we go. Halfway through. Fifteen seconds to go. And resting there. So we've got one more cardio exercise to do, which is the march fast feet. 2 more fast feet options, but bear in mind that the previous exercise was also cardio, so just make sure you stay in that 4-5 zone. And off we go. And fast feet if you want to. Back to marching. Last fast feet, off we go. And resting there. Well done. Do grab another drink. So we'll come on to core, balance, starting off seated. Can't see my knees so well, but you all know what you're doing now. So you want your knees in line with your hips, so toes out, heels out, and then just leaning forward, bringing the elbows forward onto the thighs so you're in a comfortable position. Keeping the head in line so you've got that spot about 6 feet in front of you that you can just focus on. So we're going to start with the slow twitch pelvic floor, sorry. So as you breathe in, you're pulling up, squeezing, holding it there. Make sure you keep breathing and make sure the glutes are staying relaxed. And release. So we're going to try and hold it for about 3 breaths. So again, pull in, pull up, hold it there, keep breathing. And release. And again. So again, just double check glutes are relaxed. And relax, we'll go for another 2. Pulling up. Squeeze nice and tightly. And relax, and we will do one more. Pull up, find that pelvic floor, hold it there. And relax. So we need to work a different set of muscles now, the fast twitch muscles. So to do that, we're pulling in for a breath, or in for a beat, out for a beat. So you're not holding it so much, but try and get a good contraction still. So we'll aim to do 10 of these, okay? So pulling in and releasing. Pull in and release. In, release, in, release, in, release. 5 to go. In and release, in, release, in, release. 2 more, and last one, and relax. Good work. Okay. So I kept telling you to keep your glutes relaxed in that one. So this next one, we're going to specifically work the glutes, the buttocks. So I want you to clench your buttocks. You can sit either forwards or upright for this one. Clench the buttocks, and you should feel that as they contract, they're pushing you slightly up in the chair. And we're going to do about 10 of these as well. So I don't think we've done these since week 2, but we have done other things for the glutes. So it would be interesting to know if you feel that it's a little bit easier to do that this week. Halfway through. Two more. Good work. And then bring the arms over across the chest. I should have said actually, make sure you're sitting on the front third of your chair, so you've got some room behind you. I'm going to do our seated curls, which we're not curling for. So keeping that straight back, chin into your chest, coming back as far as you're comfortable, and then forwards. Make sure you can keep the feet on the floor, just squeezing the tummy in the whole way. And if you find it difficult, it could be that you start tensing through the upper body. So just try and make sure that you're breathing well and relaxed. Let's go for 3 more. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to try and hold it. So we haven't done this before. So find the point where you can feel that you're engaging your abdominals, but it's not, there isn't strain. And then we're just going to pulse slightly at that point and make sure you keep breathing. We don't want to cause a blood pressure spike. Nice breaths, small pulses, but keeping the tension on the abdominals. And back up to the middle. Well done. So to the obliques this time. Again, you can either cross your arms over your chest or bring your hands to your ears. And we're just going side to side. Small movements don't need to go a long way. It's not a twist. It's just working those side muscles. And then if you want to make it slightly harder, you're lifting that knee that you're heading towards. But that's just to reduce the level of stability. So you use some additional muscles. And just rest back down. The arms are shake if you had them up to your ears. So we're going to do an incline plank, but I'm going to show you a variation that you might not want to try now, but you might want to try at home. So we'll just do oh no, I'll show you now anyway. So to get into your incline plank, you're in that position. Now if that feels fairly comfortable but you don't want to do it on the floor, you can come down onto your forearms and then the incline is reduced so it's a little bit harder. If you then want to work again a bit harder, coming up and down, aim being to keep that body in the same position, so you're engaging the abs all the way through. I'm not saying to give that a go, but if you're finding the incline plank is now comfortable, that's somewhere else that you could take it. Okay, does that make sense? So we're just going to hold that incline plank in whichever level you want to go. Another 5 seconds if you can. And back to standing. Done. Okay. So last week we did the warrior, which is kind of around mobility around the hips. So we're going to do that again, see if we can progress it. So take a wide stance, certainly wider than shoulder width, kind of as wide as you're comfortable with. Lift the toes on the right foot and then rotate that foot and hence the leg so that it's out in a straight line. Place it back down. If you've managed to get into that position, you can then come, perhaps I need to go a little bit wider because you want the knee to make sure it doesn't come further forward from the foot. So we're going to push back up, lift the toes and turn. So on the other side, toes on the left foot, turn out, place that foot down, lean into it. Push back up. Turn on toes on the right, turn out. Push back up, turn back in. Changing sides. Push back up. So we're going to do 2 more. So you can either carry on doing as we are, or you can try doing it with the arms out. So lift the toes up, turn out, and then lean into it and try and hold that position. And push back up, turn the leg back in. Other side, toes up, out, and coming the other way. And we're just going to hold that. Back up, turn back in. We'll do 1 more on each side. Toes up, out. Back in. And last one. And back in. a bit of a shake. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll come into stretching. Oh no, we'll do a tandem stance, can't forget balance. So again, support if you need. You just have full hand or fingertip, and then we'll bring the right foot in front of the left foot. Heel tucked into toe, so there should be good contact. Make sure both feet are pointing in the same direction. I cheat sometimes by having the back heel out. Now, if you don't need to hold on, you can bring the arms out. And then breathe out. Slight turn off centre to the right. Back to the middle. And over to the left. And back to the middle. Change the feet over. Okay, when you've got your balance, bring the arms out. We'll go to the left first this time. Back to the middle. And to the right. And back to the middle. Fantastic. Okay, so we will come into a stretch now. So we're going to start with a calf stretch. Right foot back, heel pushed into the floor, front knee up, front knee slightly bent so you get that stretch in the calf. Bring your hands behind your back, either on the small of the back, squeeze the elbows, or you can interlink the fingers and squeeze the elbows. And changing sides. This time bring the arms overhead, just reach up to the ceiling. Feet back under the hips and bring the arms forwards, elbows out wide. Tuck your chin down into your chest and push the hands away from you, keeping that width on the elbows so you can feel a stretch between the shoulder blades. We'll then bring that right arm across the body, and you're just using your other hand to pull it in to stretch out the shoulders. And changing sides. And then triceps, so that same arm up to the ceiling. Bend at the elbow so the hand comes onto the nape of the neck. And then using the other hand to support and to increase stretch. And changing over. And then stretch out the hamstrings, so bring the right foot forward. Start off with your toes on the floor. I'll show you from side on as well. So you're going to push the bottom back. Imagine you've got a piece of string coming through the tailbone, that's pulling up towards the ceiling. Chest comes towards the floor and you should feel that stretch in the hamstring. You can then lift the toes off the floor and you'll find the stretch moves a little bit further down the leg. Standing back up, we'll change sides. So take a step forward on that left leg. Bend the right leg a little bit so that you can push the hips back. Tailbone coming up towards the ceiling, chest towards the floor. And then pick the toes up. back to standing. So we'll just come stretch out the quads. We'll do it as a heel kick. Then bring your arms down to your sides. Just rotate and squeeze the shoulder blades together, keeping the shoulders low. Back, we'll do one more. And then shoulders up to the ears. And push them back down. Again, pull up. And push. Next one, we're relaxing into it. So pull up. And then just let them drop. Big breath in. Float the arms up towards the ceiling. And then stretch up, reaching up. And relax.